Hey everybody, my name is Robin and welcome to my channel, Oracle Rising. So I wanted to do a little piece today on how you could be blocking your spirit guides. So I've got 6 points on what could be happening in your life where you're not able to receive messages from your higher self, from your spirit guides, from source, universe, or God, however you identify, you guys. I totally respect all of you. So I just made a bit of a short list. So the first one is a big one, and it's something I struggle with too. Being impatient and wanting things to go faster. You know, people say like things happen in divine and perfect timing and that you should trust the journey. And there's a reason for those statements because things have to happen at a certain pace, you know, because there's more than just you to be considered. There's things going on in the background. So, you know, being impatient, it sort of builds up a bit of an emotional barrier, right? It's got a totally different vibration than sitting back and completely understanding that things will happen when they're meant to happen. It's just part of, and there's people that say it's part of God's plan, right? So understanding that wanting things to go faster instead of allowing them to happen when they're meant to happen can really block messages from your spirit guides. So I think the second one is pretty funny too. It's living a disorganized life. You know, this is when you have your space totally cluttered and you know, maybe you just have a really hard time keeping up a schedule and, you know, your room's a mess, there's clothes all over the floor, and just like being racing from one appointment to the next. And, you know, it's about more than the clutter. It's about the way you feel, you know. People that are disorganized, they're often not really in touch with themselves. And I find that the thing I said about lateness, it kind of shows a devaluation of other people's time. So there's a lot to be learned by slowing down and organizing your life, and coming at things from a different point of view other than your own. So I think what I'm trying to say is it just shows a little bit more respect for yourself and the people around you. And I'm trying to say this in a really polite way. I don't want to insult anybody, but if you put yourself in the position, like if you were waiting for somebody to show up and they were 2 hours late and they were basically unapologetic other than showing up and saying, oh, well, this and this and this happened because of their disorganization, like how does that make you feel? Probably not the greatest, right? So I try to look at things from the other person's point of view. And if somebody's disorganized to the point where they're going to be 2 hours late, I think that's ridiculous, personally. So, all right. So the third thing, you guys, that could be blocking your spirit guides is looking for human signs. Like your spirit guides are not going to try and reach out to you. They're not going to send you a text message or an email or call you on the phone. You know, they're not going to send you a letter or like buy billboard space or something like that. So there's all kinds of signs that you can get from the angels and spirit guides that have nothing to do with human ways of communication. So some of them are finding coins, hearing music, sometimes smelling things, lights and orbs, noticing synchronicities, angel feathers, numbers, repeated numbers, you guys. So I've done a whole bunch of videos on angel signs, but it's on my other channel, Aries Fire Tarot. You know, like getting to know all the angels. So if you really want to like check stuff like that out, I have tons of information for receiving signs from angels and spirit guides. So if you're asking for a sign and you're not getting it, you might want to do a little bit of research and like find out exactly how your spirit guides might be trying to communicate with you. So the fourth one is a really, really important one, you guys. You're going to block your spirit guides if you completely lose faith. If you give up, then you're just totally gonna block everything that's coming in for you. Like if you're like, this is just never gonna happen, like it just basically shuts off the radio, right? Like you've got no channel for the guides to come in and lift you up and give you any messages. And sometimes like different people get messages in different ways. So it's really important to identify what's happening for you, that the guides are coming in and speaking to you. And like I said, it could be in dreams. For me, like when I'm doing tarot card readings, I actually see words. I see the words, like it feels like they're right in the front of my head, and then I can speak them. So it's just every person is available to different forms of communication from guides. So don't lose faith. Like look at different ways of hearing your messages, because everybody's getting them. And don't give up on your path, guys. And that kind of ties into being impatient, because things are going to happen for you. It's just going to happen in the universe's divine and perfect timing. Okay, so the fifth one is really important too. I put here being too busy and not enough time in quiet. You know, if you're going to have the TV on all the time, or you're going to be on social media, you're always working, it's really tough for the guides to come in and give you the messages that you need. You might not even realize that you're getting messages, because there's things like watching TV that puts your brain in a hypnotic state, and you're really not paying attention to anything. You're basically a drone at that point. You're just sitting there like staring into space, you know, because your brain is being put into, and I think it's called theta mode, where you're just like almost like a zombie. So you're deflecting things, and you know, it's really important to spend time alone. Like even if you're driving, maybe shut the radio off and or do some meditation or have a quiet bath. Like spend some time in quiet. It's really important to be able to listen to messages from your guides. So the sixth and final point I have here, guys, is eating foods that block your energy can really block out your spirit guides. I did a video recently about a spiritual diet, and I don't mean like a diet. I mean what you put into your body, and this can also be, you know, what you consume with your eyes too, your brain. So eating foods that block your energy, these can be really highly processed foods. You know, like fast foods are not great for your body. Meat and dairy, they're not great for your body. They're all gonna work together to shut out those signals that you could be receiving from your spirit guides. So I want to advocate for you guys to do your research on all of this stuff. If you're wondering why you're not getting messages from your guides, I actually had somebody come onto my tarot channel and say, you know, I haven't heard, I'm having a hard time connecting with one of my angels and what's happening there. And I said, well, you know, sometimes your angels, they just come in for a specific time in your life and then they leave. But if you've changed something in your life also, like if you're watching a little bit more TV, or you know, you've started consuming a lot more dairy, or you know, if you're feeling really low or disorganized and cluttered, all of these things can get in the way of your spirit guides reaching out to you guys. So just some definitely some food for thought and something to investigate. And definitely check out, you know, all these points you're on yourself. If, you know, you don't have to take my word for it. This is just my findings. But guys, I hope this was a helpful video at least. And thanks for tuning in, and peace and love, guys. Bye for now.